The AFK farming software, I became invincible without knowing it. Chapter 81, Tree Realm. Descend. Heaven Enlightenment Mirror Grotto-heaven. Sect Master, why do you say that? Qi Ming asked. Do you know why? Yang Li stopped laughing and asked in return. This disciple does not know. Qi Ming shook his head. This is because the founding ancestor of the Heaven Enlightenment sect, Deist Heaven Enlightenment, cultivated the core formation method, the formless scripture. Moreover, the intrinsic Dharma treasure he refined was the Chaos Green Lotus Sword embryo. Yang Li said, exactly the same as you. I really didn't expect this. Qi Ming said. Show me. Yang Li said. Qi Ming nodded. Buzz. Qi Ming flipped his right hand, and green lights appeared in his palm. Countless sword lights gathered to form a green lotus of the sword. It floated in his palm. It was beautiful and gorgeous, but it was filled with killing intent. It's indeed the Chaos Green Lotus Sword embryo. Yang Li nodded slightly. Foundation establishment in a month, sudden epiphany, and core formation in a night. Qi Ming, oh Qi Ming, even I'm a little jealous of your talent. Sect Master, you're being too serious. Qi Ming said, compared to Sect Master, I'm just a firefly compared to the bright moon. In your eyes, I'm quite inconspicuous. No. Yang Li shook his head and stared at Qi Ming solemnly. He said in a deep voice, you're wrong. The future of the Heaven Enlightenment sect will ultimately fall in the hands of you juniors. I may die in battle in the future. I may even transcend the heavenly tribulation and ascend to the immortal world. No matter what the situation is, it's impossible for me to stay in the Heaven Enlightenment sect forever. If we want the Heaven Enlightenment sect to last for all eternity, we definitely don't just need to rely on us old folks. Instead, you, these talented juniors, are needed. Qi Ming, do you understand? I will follow your instructions, Sect Master. Qi Ming bowed. Ha ha ha. Yang Li laughed at the sky again, his tone filled with absolute confidence. I've traveled the world and no one in the southern region is my match. Therefore, the person who can defeat me is not born yet. Sect Master's strength is naturally invincible. Qi Ming immediately agreed. King Ian. Yang Li stopped smiling as he called out. I'm here. So King Ian shuddered and collected her thoughts. She took a few steps forward and bowed to Yang Li. Yang Li said, this is my disciple, So King Ian. You saw her a year ago. She followed me into the sect to cultivate for a year and is now at the early stage foundation establishment realm with the Heavenly Dao Foundation. However, the cultivation levels of the legacy disciples of the Heaven Enlightenment Immortal Mountain are too high. The weakest is in the nascent soul realm. They can't spar with So King Ian at all, so she can't find a match. Qi Ming, you've just reached the early stage core formation realm. Why don't you take this opportunity to exchange a few moves with So King Ian? Qi Ming pondered. So King Ian could not help but feel eager. A year ago, Qi Ming was like a god that had descended to the mortal world and saved So King Ian and Yuan Feng. The strength that Qi Ming revealed dealt a huge blow to her, leaving a deep impression on So King Ian. In fact, in this year, she would often dream of Qi Ming. If So King Ian could defeat Qi Ming, she would be able to overcome her nightmare. It would be a huge help to her mental state. It was a hurdle that she had to overcome. Since this is the Sect Master's command, I will naturally listen. Qi Ming nodded. However, my cultivation level has already reached the core formation realm, and junior sister has only just broken through to the early stage foundation establishment realm. I'm afraid I'll injure her. Don't worry. Swish. Yang Li casually waved his hand, and a stream of light transformed into a mark that descended. It was so fast that Qi Ming could not dodge at all. The mark fused into Qi Ming's body and sealed his cultivation. This way, Qi Ming could only use his early stage foundation establishment cultivation. Through this, Qi Ming had an extremely deep understanding of Yang Li's cultivation and strength. To be able to casually seal his cultivation was indeed terrifying and unfathomable. "Let's begin," Yang Li said. So King Ian took a deep breath. She was wearing a white dress, and her appearance was petite and cute. Her aura was also peerlessly beautiful. After staying in the Heaven Enlightenment Immortal Mountain for a year, she had indeed changed greatly. She was like a fairy that had descended to the mortal world. "Thank you for saving my life back then, senior brother." So King Ian bowed to Qi Ming and said, "I've always remembered this in my heart, but I didn't have the chance to repay you. Today, Master asked me to seek guidance from senior brother. I'm nervous, senior brother, please enlighten me." Qi Ming did not say anything and only raised his hand to respond, "Please make the first move." "Senior brother, sorry about this." Swish. As soon as they finished speaking, So King Ian was the first to attack. She took the initiative to attack and waved her hand. In an instant, vast spirit energy surged and directly solidified, and the surroundings became a forest. "Tree realm! Descend!" So King Ian shouted. Swish! 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 The tree world had already surrounded Qi Ming, who was trapped in it. Countless branches, vines, and roots were like sharp lights that attacked him from all directions. However, Qi Ming's figure flashed and moved left and right, producing countless afterimages. All the attacks were avoided by Qi Ming, and they could not injure him at all. How is this possible? So King Ian's beautiful eyes widened in surprise. Yang Li had sealed Qi Ming's cultivation, but he could not seal his understanding of the heaven and earth Dao. Under Qi Ming's senses, all of So King Ian's attacks were exposed and predicted. Therefore, this was an unfair battle from the beginning. Swish! The next moment, Qi Ming erupted at full speed and locked onto So King Ian's location. He disappeared from the spot as if he had shrunk the ground into an inch and arrived beside So King Ian in the next moment. Moreover, the sword Dao Green Lotus floated above So King Ian. Qi Ming only needed to gently let go and the sword Dao Green Lotus would fall. So King Ian would be completely torn apart by countless sword qi, and not even her bones would be left. But clearly, he could not do that. This was because So King Ian was the sect master's personal disciple. "You lost." Qi Ming's voice sounded in So King Ian's ears. I lost." So King Ian's beautiful face was pale, and her entire body was stiffened. She could sense the sword Dao Green Lotus above her head, and the terrifying aura it emitted caused her scalp to go numb, and even her entire body felt cold. Her snow-white skin became even paler. Buzz! Buzz! The surrounding spirit energy dissipated and the tree world disappeared. Swish! Qi Ming also took back the sword Dao Green Lotus. "King Ian, you can leave," Yang Li said. "Yes." So King Ian lowered her head and glanced at Qi Ming, her gaze becoming more and more complicated. She originally thought that she could prove herself through this battle. In the end, she had completely lost. From the beginning to the end, it only took a few minutes. The Foundation Establishment Divine Power Spell Technique, Tree Realm, that she was proud of could not injure Qi Ming at all. All the attacks were easily dodged by him. The two sides were on completely different levels. Yang Li observed with a scrutinizing gaze, as expected of a super genius that's hard to come by in 10,000 years. King Ian can't even withstand a single move from you and was directly defeated. She just lacks some combat experience. Qi Ming said. Swish! Yang Li waved his right hand, and the seal on Qi Ming's body disappeared. The golden core and spirit energy in his body returned to normal, and his early stage core formation realm cultivation returned. Qi Ming heaved a sigh of relief. Do you understand now? Yang Li looked at So King Ian sternly, although you're very talented, there's always someone better. You still need to work harder. Yes, Master. So King Ian lowered her head and replied, but she muttered in her mind, I've always known that there's always someone stronger. Moreover, I don't think my talent is high. It was just. How embarrassing. I originally thought that I could show off in front of Master and Senior Brother, but in the end, Senior Brother's strength is so strong. We're clearly at the same cultivation level, but I can't beat him at all. I don't even know how Senior Brother approached me. I'm really too stupid. Qi Ming. Yang Li stood up and said, follow me. Qi Ming quickly followed. Yang Li walked to the wall behind him and waved his right hand. The wall automatically cracked open, and a door appeared. Qi Ming followed Yang Li into the room. This was a secret room. There was nothing inside. Then, the door to the secret room closed. Close your eyes. Yang Li said. Qi Ming nodded and closed his eyes. Buzz. Teleport. Yang Li waved his right hand, and a vast spirit energy fell and surged into the teleportation formation beneath his feet. The teleportation formation was activated, and the power of space enveloped Qi Ming and Yang Li. Swish! A white light flashed in front of him. Qi Ming and Yang Li disappeared from the secret room. Moreover, Qi Ming also felt the world spin around him. You can open them now. Yang Li said. Qi Ming opened his eyes. A dark environment greeted his eyes. This is. Qi Ming was stunned. In the surroundings, there was no light and no spiritual qi. The environment was like a vacuum in the universe. Only in front of him was a huge oval mirror that was 3 meters tall. The edge of the mirror was ancient pure silver with peerless profound patterns. This mirror emitted some light, allowing Qi Ming to see the situation beside him. This is the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror Grotto-heaven. Yang Li stood beside Qi Ming and answered his questions. This is a Grotto-heaven created by the Heaven Enlightenment Sect's cornerstone treasure, the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror. Everything here is controlled by the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror. Heaven Enlightenment Mirror Grotto-heaven. Qi Ming pondered. Yang Li nodded slightly. During the Heaven Enlightenment Assembly, you grasped a portion of the power of the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror Avatar. Therefore, you should know the power of the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror. Now, go and stand in front of the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror. Qi Ming nodded. He was not nervous at all. Instead, he was very calm. This was because he knew that his background was innocent. He did not have to worry about the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror finding out anything. As for transmigration and rebirth, they probably could not see through it with the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror's ability. If he could really see through it, Qi Ming had no choice. While Qi Ming was thinking, he had already walked towards the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror. He stood in front of it and wisps of light dissipated. In the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror, Qi Ming's figure was reflected. There was no change. There was no phenomenon. Oh! Yang Li raised his eyebrows, that's enough. Qi Ming walked back. You can go back. Buzz. Yang Li waved his right hand. Qi Ming's vision flashed, and a dazzling white light appeared. He could not see anything, but the weightlessness of teleportation appeared again. In the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror Grotto-heaven, only Yang Li was left. Heaven Enlightenment Mirror. Yang Li asked, what's the situation? He has the 5 elements spirit root, 3rd level heavenly sword Dao body, genius comprehension, and crystal foundation. Only his providence is deep and has reached 4 colors. Moreover, there are some things in this child that I can't see through. A blurry figure appeared in the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror. It was the mirror spirit of the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror. It replied to Yang Li, but he can be trusted. I know. Yang Li nodded. Swish! His figure flashed. Yang Li also left the Heaven Enlightenment Mirror Grotto-heaven and returned to the Sect Master Hall. Chapter 82, Heavenly Constellation 36 Techniques. Qi Ming's sense of weightlessness had already disappeared. His feet stepped on the ground as the white light in front of him dissipated. The surrounding scene returned to the more familiar secret room. "I'm back," Qi Ming muttered softly. Buzz. Directly ahead, a white light appeared out of thin air. When the white light dissipated, Sect Master Yang Li's figure appeared in front of Qi Ming. "Sect Master." Qi Ming bowed. Yang Li nodded gently. With a wave of his right hand, he opened the door of the secret room and walked out. "Let's go." Qi Ming followed. Actually, Qi Ming recalled carefully. From yesterday until today, Miao Hong Sword Peak's Peak Master came to fetch him to the Heaven Enlightenment Immortal Mountain to meet Sect Master Yang Li. After seeing the Sect Master, during everything that had happened, he was very easygoing. Qi Ming did not feel too uncomfortable. Although Peak Master Miao Hongjian and Sect Master Yang Li were suspicious because Qi Ming's cultivation level had increased too quickly, they did not show it from their tone or actions, nor did they say it directly. It gave Qi Ming a sense of comfort. At the very least, it would not make Qi Ming feel disgusted. If not for the fact that Qi Ming had vaguely guessed it previously, he might really think that Miao Hongjian purely wanted to bring him to see the Sect Master. In the hall, Yang Li had already returned to the main seat. So King Ian stood obediently at Yang Li's right hand, but her peripheral vision would always peek at Qi Ming from time to time. Miao Hongjian stood at the side. After exchanging a glance with Yang Li, he heaved a sigh of relief. "Qi Ming," Yang Li said. Qi Ming took a step forward. "Take it." Yang Li casually threw it out, and a jade slip flew out like a stream of light. Qi Ming reached out to receive it, and the black golden jade slip was captured in his hand. "This is your reward," Yang Li said bluntly. "Since it's a competition, you naturally have to be rewarded if you win against King Ian. This is a body tempering spell at the core formation realm. It's called the Black Gold True Body. It can enhance your life preservation abilities." "Thank you, Sect Master." Qi Ming accepted it gratefully. "Hongjian." Yang Li waved his hand. "Bring Qi Ming back." Miao Hongjian nodded. Yang Li continued, "Qi Ming, in the next few years, you have to prepare well for the legacy competition in a few years. At that time, you can't disappoint me. I think very highly of you, understand?" "Yes, Sect Master," Qi Ming said. Yang Li nodded in satisfaction. Then, Qi Ming followed Miao Hongjian out of the Sect Master Hall and quickly descended the mountain to return to the ship. They drove the ship back to the Green Cloud Peak. On the ship, Miao Hongjian glared at Qi Ming angrily and reprimanded, "That so King Ian has just entered the sect for a year and is the Sect Master's personal disciple. Her talent is extremely high. Even if it's for the Sect Master's sake, you should have let her land a move at least. How could you defeat her instantly? Aren't you afraid that the Sect Master will be embarrassed?" "I didn't think too much about it back then," Qi Ming said. "Forget it." Miao Hongjian waved his hand. "Sect Master is magnanimous. He isn't angry about this. It's like what Sect Master said. In the next few years, you have to prepare for the legacy competition and strive to shine in it and enter the Heaven Enlightenment Immortal Mountain." Qi Ming took a deep breath and turned around to look at the Heaven Enlightenment Immortal Mountain surrounded by clouds and astral qi. Although he did not really yearn for it, he thought that it was safer to be in the Heaven Enlightenment Immortal Mountain than in the Green Cloud Peak. In the Sect Master Hall, Yang Li slowly stood up with his hands behind his back facing So King Ian. His tone was calm, and there was no joy or anger in it. Instead, it gave So King Ian a lot of pressure. So King Ian could not help but lower her head. She was a little afraid. Swoosh! 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 Yang Li waved his right hand, and 3 jade slips flew out and floated in front of So King Ian. They emitted a glow, giving off an extraordinary feeling. "The legacy competition will begin in 9 years. Yang Li said, "From now on, your cultivation mission has to be doubled. You have a limit of 1 month to master all 3 spells and reach the beginner level. Next, I will train you in a stricter manner. Do you understand? Ah! So King Ian raised her head and met Yang Li's sharp gaze, scaring her into lowering her head like an ostrich, not daring to look at him. Yes, Master. So King Ian nodded. At that time, I will let you participate in the legacy competition. In the legacy competition, you have to defeat Qi Ming openly and cleanse today's shame. Yang Li said solemnly. So King Ian nodded. She looked at her confident master and muttered in her heart, because she really did not have much confidence in winning senior brother Qi Ming in the legacy competition. However, since her master had said so, she could only brace herself. Clearly, Qi Ming defeated So King Ian in one move. Although Yang Li did not show anything on the surface, he had long remembered it in his heart. However, as the master of a sect, he still had the tolerance to not target Qi Ming. However, he would think of ways to make So King Ian improve herself and let her personally defeat Qi Ming. The scene changed. Qi Ming and Miao Hongjian returned to the Green Cloud Peak. The ship had just stopped. Junior brother. Swish. Lu Qingjian quickly flew over. Elder Feng followed closely. The two of them came to welcome him. Senior sister, master. Qi Ming was stunned. When he saw the concern and worry on his senior sister and master's faces, he could not help but feel warm in his heart. Why are you here? Lu Qingjian first glared at Miao Hongjian before smiling as she replied, to pick you up. She was originally prepared to enter seclusion to break through. However, when she heard that Miao Hongjian brought Qi Ming to see the sect master alone, she did not go into seclusion. She was too worried. Elder Feng took a deep breath. Peak master, we've troubled you. Cough cough. When Miao Hongjian saw Feng Zimu's gaze, he felt a little awkward. This time, he indeed hid from Feng Zimu and brought Qi Ming to see the sect master alone. He was worried that if there was really a problem, Feng Zimu would be anxious to protect his disciple and do something bad. You guys, go ahead and chat, I'll leave first. Swish. After saying that, Miao Hongjian directly flew away. Elder Feng asked, Qi Ming, was everything all right? No. Qi Ming shook his head and said apologetically, I made master and senior sister worry for me. What are you talking about? Lu Qingjian rolled her eyes at Qi Ming and said flirtatiously, you're my junior brother and I'm your senior sister. Isn't it normal to be worried about you? It's good that you're fine. Elder Feng nodded, since there's nothing wrong, I'm completely relieved. Then, Qi Ming talked about what had happened in the sect master hall. So King Ian has really become the sect master's personal disciple. Lu Qingjian said, unfortunately, the next few assessments did not continue. Otherwise, we would also know how talented So King Ian is to be valued so much by the sect master. Actually, you should have let So King Ian land an attack. Elder Feng also said. I didn't think too much at that time. Qi Ming said. It's all in the past. Elder Feng shook his head. They chatted for a while more. Qi Ming prepared to return to the falling cloud peak. His senior sister, Lu Qingjian, also had to return to her cave abode to enter seclusion. His master, Elder Feng, had many things to do. After all, he was a legacy elder. The scene changed. Falling cloud peak. Swish. Qi Ming returned. His figure landed from the sky and stood at the entrance of the falling cloud cave abode. Huo Chongqing, the blood fiend ghost king, and the greater bat demon came to welcome him. Master. Huo Chongqing bowed. Master, master. The blood fiend ghost king still could not speak properly. As for the greater bat demon, it did not know how to speak at all. Its intelligence was average, and it had not refined the bone in its throat that prevented it from speaking human language. Qi Ming nodded. He looked at the three spirit pets and his subordinates beside him as well as the familiar falling cloud cave abode, making him feel at ease. Back in the cave abode, Qi Ming began his original cultivation life. In the evening. Ding. You have been AFK farming in the heavenly Constellation 36 Caves game dungeon for a day and cleared it once. You have received the heavenly Constellation 36 techniques and 100,000 medium-grade spirit stones. Qi Ming was stunned. He did not dare to confirm it. He was a little nervous in anticipation. He immediately checked the information of the heavenly Constellation 36 techniques as he muttered, could it be? Item, Heavenly Constellation 36 Techniques. Introduction, this technique is a great divine power. It is not a method to avoid the three disasters. It encompasses everything in the world. It is the 3 ends and 6 endless, where 36 represents infinity. He who controls the heavenly constellation possesses great power. The heavenly constellation 36 techniques included, law creation, overturn yin-yang, shifting stars, heavenly observation, summoning wind and rain, shaking mountains and earth, riding clouds and fog, dividing rivers into continents, riding golden light, overturning the seas, transform earth into steel, 5 elements escape, 6 mystic gates, future sight, scouring mountains moving rocks, resurrection from the dead, traceless flight, 9 chi breaths, stealing yang energy, subduing dragons and tigers, mending the heavens and sunbathing, overturning mountains to fill seas, transforming rocks into gold, phantom shadow, physical transmutation, size adjustment, flower blooming, essence soul traveling, clairvoyant sight, reversing wind, 5 lightning control, underground and sea travel, flying sand and rocks, carrying mountains to cross seas, bean soldiers, nailhead 7 arrows. In addition, if one wanted to officially learn the heavenly constellation 36 techniques, the lowest requirement was to master the Golden Core Great Dao. However, the great divine power was obscure and difficult to understand. It contained the profoundness of the Great Dao, and the difficulty of cultivating it was extremely great. Even true immortals would find it difficult to master it completely, it was too difficult. It's really the heavenly constellation 36 techniques. Qi Ming took a deep breath. He was very excited because the power of this heavenly constellation 36 technique was really too strong. I obtained it the first time I passed the heavenly constellation 36 cave. Moreover, I've already mastered the Golden Core Great Dao and fulfilled the minimum requirement of learning the heavenly constellation 36 techniques. Although it's extremely difficult to master, I can definitely master some of the profundities under the enhancement of 100,000 times. Chapter 83, 2 years later. The sword Qi Slash that Qi Ming had cultivated in the past was only a spell technique of a lower cultivation realm. As for the heavenly constellation 36 techniques, it was an absolute great divine power. The two could not be compared. It was because of the difference in quality. When Qi Ming had established the Heavenly Dao Foundation, the Chaos Green Lotus Dao Foundation, and cultivated the Connate Purity Golden Core and the Formless Golden Core, the Green Lotus Dao, the Purity Golden Body, and the Myriad Form Storm could be called divine power spells. The power of these 3 divine power spells clearly surpassed ordinary spells. However, they could not compare to the great divine power, the heavenly constellation 36 techniques. The only thing that could barely match it was probably the Purity Golden Body. They could reach the same height. I'll charge 1,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. Qi Ming said, the first AFK farming slot will cultivate the Golden Core Great Dao Scripture. Ding! Cultivating the Golden Core Great Dao Scripture under the enhancement of 100,000 times. I'll charge 1,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. Qi Ming said, the second AFK farming slot will cultivate the heavenly constellation 36 techniques. Ding! Cultivating the heavenly constellation 36 techniques under the enhancement of 100,000 times. I'll charge 1,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. Qi Ming said, cultivate the heavenly 9-pill scripture. Ding! Cultivating the heavenly 9-pill scripture under the enhancement of 100,000 times. In the following period of time, Qi Ming basically stayed on the falling cloud peak and did not go down the mountain anymore. Moreover, there was nothing worth going down the mountain for. The first and second AFK farming slots were fixed to cultivate the Golden Core Great Dao scripture and the Heavenly Constellation 36 techniques. He learned something new every day. As for the third AFK farming slot, on the first day, he cultivated the Heavenly 9-pill scripture. On the second day, he cultivated the Extreme Intent Weapon Refinement art. On the third day, he cultivated the 4 Formation scripture. On the fourth day, he cultivated the Formless scripture. On the fifth day, he cultivated the Black Gold True Body. On the sixth day, he cultivated the various core formation realm spells or cultivation methods he obtained from the Heavenly Constellation 36 caves. Like this, different spells and methods were cultivated every day. Unknowingly, a month later, the Heavenly 9-pill scripture was completely perfected. Qi Ming's alchemist attainment had reached the limit of his current realm, which was the Pill Tribulation Core Formation Pill Master. Another month passed. The Extreme Intent Weapon Refinement art was also completely perfected. Qi Ming's weapon refinement mastery had also reached the limit of his current realm, which was the Weapon Tribulation Core Formation Weapon Refinement Master. In the blink of an eye, it was already the third month. The 4 formation scripture was completely perfected. Qi Ming's array formation attainment had reached the limit of his current realm and he had become a top-grade core formation array formation master. All 3 secondary occupations had reached the limit of his current realm. By the 4th month, Qi Ming had completely comprehended all the mysteries of the Formless scripture. As long as he wanted to, he could directly use the Formless scripture to break through to the late-stage core formation realm. But clearly, Qi Ming could not do this because if he did, he would lose everything he had worked for. However, the Golden Core Great Dao scripture was obscure and difficult to understand. It required one to comprehend the natural Great Dao of heaven and earth, comprehend the mysteries of the Great Dao, and grasp the natural truths of heaven and earth. Even if he cultivated under the enhancement of 100,000 times, he would still need a long time. As for the Heavenly Constellation 36 techniques, after 4 months of AFK farming cultivation, under the enhancement of 100,000 times, Qi Ming had comprehended it for a total of 33,000 years without sleep or rest. Such a duration was simply unthinkable. However, Qi Ming had yet to master the Heavenly Constellation 36 techniques. He had only comprehended some of the profundities within. However, even so, Qi Ming's gains were still immense. Size adjustment. Buzz. With a thought, Qi Ming used one of the profound techniques of the Heavenly Constellation 36 techniques. The spirit energy in his body was quickly consumed. His right hand was directly enlarged dozens of times, like the hand of a giant. However, it recovered after a short period of time. Size adjustment. It could change the size of any part of the body at will. He had perfected his cultivation of this technique. He could achieve gigantification. It was a supreme technique. I'm far from it. Qi Ming shook his head, be it cultivation or dharmic powers, I can't support the true activation of the Heavenly Constellation 36 techniques. Just the mystic technique, size adjustment, had already drained me entirely, much less the ability to use overturn yin-yang or shifting stars. In the blink of an eye, during the 5th month, Qi Ming cultivated the Black Gold True Body to the perfection realm. Buzz. With a thought, a layer of black light appeared around Qi Ming's body. It surrounded his entire body and possessed powerful defense and reflective ability. Moreover, Qi Ming's body had also been completely refined. His strength had increased greatly. Time passed, 2 years later. On this day, in the morning. Huff. Qi Ming sat cross-legged and slowly opened his eyes. In his eyes, it was as if all kinds of Dao runes between heaven and earth were interwoven to form a great Dao net. But soon, this phenomenon disappeared. After 2 years, Qi Ming's change was huge. This was because every time he cleared the heavenly constellation 36 caves, he would obtain different spells, treasures, and various materials. The spells Qi Ming obtained would basically all be cultivated to perfection with the third AFK farming slot. Unknowingly, even Qi Ming did not know how many spells he had grasped. As for weapon refinement, pill refinement, and array formations, these three secondary professions had even reached a completely new level of mastery. In addition, he had cultivated the heavenly constellation 36 techniques for 2 years. In the past few days, Qi Ming had a feeling that he would reach the entry level of the technique in the next few days. As for the Golden Core Great Dao scripture, Qi Ming had a feeling that there was still some time before he could break through. He was not anxious. These things could be done slowly. Unknowingly, Qi Ming's personality became more calm and composed. He would let nature take its course. Uncle Master, Uncle Master. Yuan Feng's voice sounded from the foot of the mountain. Qi Ming looked up and saw that Yuan Feng had already run up the mountain. There was a blood monkey half the height of a human beside her. That agile blood monkey was the infant of the blood monkey demon king. Now, it had already been nurtured by Yuan Feng to become her spirit pet and was already at the early stage foundation establishment realm. In addition, Yuan Feng's cultivation level had broken through to the early stage foundation establishment realm 3 months ago. However, what she had forged was not the heavenly Dao foundation, but the earth Dao foundation. Actually, it was not bad. You're here. Qi Ming said. Greetings, Uncle Master. Yuan Feng bowed to Qi Ming respectfully. For 2 years, every time Yuan Feng came to see Qi Ming, the feeling was different. It was very difficult for her to describe that feeling. She felt that wherever Uncle Master Qi stood, it was as if he resonated with the heavens and the earth, as if he was in harmony with the heavens and the earth. Every single move he made seemed to contain a certain logic and trajectory. It was too mysterious. Yuan Feng felt that Uncle Master Qi was more and more unfathomable. He was like a bottomless abyss that could not be seen at all. She could only see darkness. Moreover, her Uncle Master was becoming more and more shut in. It had been 2 years. He did not take a step down the mountain. Qi Ming nodded slightly. He glanced at Yuan Feng and said, "Not bad. Your Earth Dao foundation is very solid. You didn't let me down when I helped you back then. Although the Ice Lotus Dao foundation is only a Earth Dao foundation and is indeed inferior to the Heavenly Dao foundation, as long as you are not anxious and cultivate steadily, your future achievements will not be weaker than the Heavenly Dao foundation." Yuan Feng nodded, "I will follow Uncle Master's instructions." Has your master come out of seclusion? Qi Ming asked. Not yet. Yuan Feng shook her head. Qi Ming nodded and did not ask further. Yuan Feng said, "There are still a few days before the outer sect assessment of the 12 peaks begins. At that time, it will be the Heaven Enlightenment Assembly in a month. The person representing Green Cloud Peak to participate in the Heaven Enlightenment Assembly is Legacy Disciple Yuan. Is that so?" Qi Ming said, "To think it's been 3 years already, the outer sect assessment is happening again." Qi Ming recalled everything that had happened during the outer sect assessment. It was like a movie replaying in Qi Ming's mind. He felt a little emotional. Yuan Feng said worriedly, "Senior brother Xiao has already left the sect for more than a year and hasn't returned. Don't worry about him." Qi Ming said, "Even if something happens to you, he'll be fine." Yuan Feng continued, 7 days ago, Yuan's cultivation had already successfully broken through to the early stage core formation realm. She established the Heavenly Dao Foundation, the Heaven and Earth Red Lotus Dao Foundation, and condensed a 9th grade Heaven and Earth Red Lotus Golden Core. This matter has already alarmed the entire Green Cloud Peak. She entered the sect for 3 years and cultivated to the Golden Core realm. This Yuan's talent is really so powerful. I've also entered the sect for 3 years. I'm only at the early stage foundation establishment realm now. Compared to her, there's an entire realm's difference. Don't belittle yourself. Qi Ming said, you've already done very well. Next, Yuan Feng continued to explain many things that had happened during this period of time to Qi Ming, who listened carefully. Yuan Feng's cooking skills were also getting better and better. This time, she prepared a lot of good wine and dishes for Qi Ming. At the beginning, perhaps Qi Ming did not take Yuan Feng too seriously, but as they interacted for a long time, Yuan Feng's unyielding character was still quite liked by him. Qi Ming indeed treated Yuan Feng as his disciple niece now. Moreover, Qi Ming had always stayed in the falling cloud peak to cultivate. Only Yuan Feng would go up the mountain from time to chat with him and tell him what had happened at the foot of the mountain. Xiao Fan often left the sect. He was basically not in the sect and was rarely seen. As for Qi Ming's senior sister, she had been in seclusion to try and break through. As for his master, he was a legacy elder and had many things to do. Perhaps a few years would pass after a short seclusion as well. In the evening, Yuan Feng descended the mountain. 2 days later, the outer sect assessment of the 12 peaks of the heaven enlightenment officially began. This time, the situation did not happen last time, and there was no secret scheme from the legacy elders. Everything went as planned. No disciple could raise the interest of the legacy elders in this outer sect assessment. On the other hand, a few directly became inner sect disciples. It was not a bad result. 3 days later. Noon. Ding. The heavenly constellation 36 techniques has been cultivated continuously under the enhancement of 100,000 times. You have comprehended the changes of the heavenly constellation, the mysteries of heaven and earth, and the limitless great Dao. All kinds of comprehension surged into your mind. Congratulations, host! You have successfully reached the entry level of the heavenly constellation 36 techniques. Qi Ming received a notification. Chapter 84, Entry Level of the Heavenly Constellation 36 Techniques. Yuan Feng leaves the sect. Immediately after, all kinds of profundities regarding the heavenly constellation 36 techniques slowly surged into Qi Ming's mind. He had already entered an extremely profound state. In this state, Qi Ming felt that he was constantly comprehending the heavenly constellation 36 techniques without sleep or rest, understanding the mystic techniques and comprehending the great Dao within. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of years had passed. Qi Ming was enlightened. He had truly comprehended the profundities of the heavenly constellation 36 techniques and reached the entry level. Buzz. 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 Looking carefully, a faint layer of heaven and earth Dao runes enveloped Qi Ming. It was almost unnoticeable. Gradually, it fused into Qi Ming's body and disappeared. This was the runes of the great Dao entering the body. Success! Qi Ming woke up and opened his eyes. His face was filled with joy. It's been 2 years. I've finally learned the heavenly constellation 36 techniques. This way, I can unleash the power of the heavenly constellation 36 techniques. I'll give it a try. Qi Ming was already a little tempted. He took a deep breath and sat cross-legged. He mobilized the golden core dharmic powers in his body and circulated the heavenly constellation 36 techniques. Moreover, in the heavenly constellation 36 techniques, there was one technique called future sight. This divine power mystic technique could observe what was about to happen in the future. One could understand the workings of the heavens and predict the future. One could know the fate of all lives and all karma. Of course, Qi Ming did not have such a powerful ability now. He could not know the fate of all lives and all karma. However, it was true that he could barely divine the future. He pinched his fingers and deduced the Heaven Enlightenment Assembly in a month. Gradually, the result of the Heaven Enlightenment Assembly a month later appeared in Qi Ming's mind. He already knew what was about to happen. Phew! The next moment, the blood in Qi Ming's body churned, and a stream of blood surged to his chest. He could no longer endure it and spat out a mouthful of blood that splattered on the ground. He was injured. The backlash appeared in his body. It was not over yet. In the world, a faint killing intent surged towards Qi Ming. This killing intent was invisible and intangible, but it was targeted at the essence soul and human soul. It could destroy the essence soul and human soul. Qi Ming had already touched the bottom line of the unseen world's great Dao by using his golden core body to deduce the future. There was a saying that those who inferred the secrets of the heavens would suffer a backlash, and those who leaked the information would definitely die. Purity golden body. Buzz. At this critical moment, Qi Ming shouted loudly. The connate purity great Dao golden core shone brightly, and for the first time, it displayed its power. The great Dao circulated mysteriously and a golden light flashed, enveloping Qi Ming's entire body. Immediately after, the killing intent of the heavens and the earth blew past Qi Ming like a breeze, and it did not cause him any harm. This was the power of the purity golden body's spell immunity. Impressive. Qi Ming was shocked. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and felt lingering fear. I only deduced the Heaven Enlightenment Assembly in a month and it attracted the heaven and earth killing intent. Fortunately, I have the connate purity great Dao golden core to protect me. Otherwise, under this heaven and earth killing intent, even if I don't die, my soul will be heavily injured. It seems that I can't casually use this kind of mystic technique to deduce the heavenly secrets. In the heavenly constellation 36 techniques, there was another technique. It was called heavenly observation. This technique was profound and could see through the heavens and illuminate the entire world. It could display the scenes of the past without any obstructions. In other words, one could observe history. If he combined the two techniques, heavenly observation and future sight, he could look at history and the future, the past and the present. The river of time would no longer have any secrets under these techniques. This was the might of the great divine power. Of course, Qi Ming did not dare to try now. If he really used the two techniques together, he would probably directly attract the killing tribulation of heaven and earth. Qi Ming would be reduced to ashes. After all, his current cultivation was only in the golden core realm. Even if he had the purity golden body, he would definitely not be able to withstand it. A month later, the Heaven Enlightenment Assembly began. The person who represented Green Cloud Peak to participate in the Heaven Enlightenment Assembly was Fairy Feng Xi's legacy disciple, Yuan. Yuan was already at the early stage core formation realm. She was qualified. In order to verify the authenticity of the mystic technique, future sight, Qi Ming specially asked Yuan Feng to ask around and pay attention to this Heaven Enlightenment Assembly. 3 days later, the Heaven Enlightenment Assembly ended. Everything was exactly as Qi Ming had deduced. First, in the battle between the legacy disciples of the 12 Peaks, Yuan did not win the first place. Instead, she was defeated by the legacy disciple of the Heavenly Peak, Li Tongming. Li Tongming had suppressed the legacy disciples of the other 11 peaks and obtained first place, obtaining the right to preside over this Heaven Enlightenment Assembly. In addition, the Heaven Enlightenment Assembly was held perfectly this time. There were no signs of violence or trouble, but no geniuses who could directly become legacy disciples appeared. Nothing much happened during this period. Li Tongming. Qi Ming pondered for a moment. Uncle Master, what's wrong with this person? Yuan Feng asked. It's fine. Qi Ming shook his head. Yuan Feng stood up. Her expression was very firm, as if she had made a very big decision. I'm preparing to leave the sect in 3 days and roam the outside world. You're planning to go out and train? Qi Ming asked. Yuan Feng nodded. Although the Heaven Enlightenment sect's territory is very large, almost like a small world, and there are various Grotto-heavens and blessed lands, this is still the territory of the sect. Moreover, I can't enter many Grotto-heavens and blessed lands. I need to obtain the approval of the owner of the Grotto-heaven. I accepted the mission to guard Heaven Origin City yesterday. Moreover, it is also in the territory of the Yuan Sheng Empire. I want to go back and take a look. All right. Qi Ming said, "It's good for you if you go out and take a look." "Uncle Master, do you want to go out and train too?" Yuan Feng asked. "I don't need it." Qi Ming waved his hand. "It's good to stay on Falling Cloud Peak." Yuan Feng was silent for a moment before nodding, "All right, but Uncle Master, after I leave, perhaps no one will come to chat with you or tell you about the various things that happened in the Heaven Enlightenment sect. Also, no one will prepare good food and wine for you." "Ha ha ha," Qi Ming laughed, "don't worry. Your Uncle Master can take care of himself." "Then I'm leaving." Yuan Feng stood up and waved at Qi Ming before turning to leave reluctantly. Qi Ming looked at Yuan Feng's back and felt a little emotional. Speaking of which, if Yuan Feng really left the sect to train, no one would come to chat with Qi Ming. Even if he had a craving, no one would specially cook good wine and dishes for Qi Ming. It would be fine if it was only for a period of time. Perhaps he would really be a little unaccustomed if she were to be away from the sect for a long time. Moreover, humans were not plants and trees, how could they be heartless? What? Suddenly, Qi Ming felt a sense of the great Dao surging into his mind. He could not help but stretch out his hand and begin to circulate the mystic technique, Future Sight. He calculated with his fingers. Immediately, the calamity and fortune of Yuan Feng appeared, and a faint trajectory of fate appeared in front of Qi Ming. Buzz! A breeze blew over, and it contained a strand of the killing intent of heaven and earth. However, he was just deducing the fate of a person, so it did not cause too great a backlash. Qi Ming circulated the purity golden body and was directly immune to this wisp of heaven and earth killing intent. "Yuan Feng!" Qi Ming immediately called out. Yuan Feng stopped and turned around to ask, "Uncle Master, is there anything else? Are you sure you want to leave the sect this time?" Qi Ming asked. Yuan Feng looked at Qi Ming's stern gaze. This was the first time she had seen it. She was a little nervous, but she still followed her heart and nodded solemnly. "Forget it." With a thought, Qi Ming waved his right hand and a grey straw doll appeared from his inventory. He took out the cloud black iron and chaos green flames surged out as he began refining. Buzz! Buzz! Green flames forged as dharmic powers condensed. In less than 10 minutes, a bow and arrow had been refined. The bow looked simple and was black in color. Crack! 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 The next moment, 3 bolts of tribulation lightning landed in front of the bow in succession, but they were all scattered by the bow. This was a top-grade core formation Dharma treasure that had already passed the artifact tribulation. It was also a one-time use item, just like last time. "Take it." Qi Ming casually waved his hand, and the black bow and grey straw doll flew towards Yuan Feng. Yuan Feng quickly stretched out her hand to receive them, and her beautiful face revealed a delighted expression. "This is the Nailhead 7 arrows." Qi Ming explained, "Although it's only a very simple replica, and is almost useless to me, it already has a very strong power. To you, it's completely enough. After you return, refine, and master it, you will know the use and power of the Nailhead 7 arrows." Nailhead 7 arrows. It was also one of the heavenly Constellation 36 techniques. This mystic technique was a supreme curse technique. It looked like a bow and arrow that was stabbed on a straw doll. Coupled with the use of the 7 arrows curse book, it could take a person's life in a foreign land. The victim had no ability to resist, and even the Zenith Heaven Immortal could not escape this calamity. It was extremely strange and unfathomable. Of course, the Nailhead 7 arrows refined by Qi Ming did not have such a terrifying ability. It was weakened countless times. However, it was strong enough. "Thank you, Uncle Master." Yuan Feng smiled. The sadness from their parting was no longer on her face. Her face was filled with excitement and joy as she said happily, "Hee, I knew that Uncle Master would not ignore me. I knew that Uncle Master would be the best. Uncle Master is the best Uncle Master in the world." She sounded so excited. Yuan Feng ran to Qi Ming and kissed him on the cheek when he was not looking. Then, she ran down the mountain. "Uncle Master, I'll tell you about the outside world when I return." Yuan Feng's voice sounded. "This girl dares to take advantage of me." Qi Ming said speechlessly, "She's getting bolder and bolder. I have to find an opportunity to teach her a lesson in the future." In the blink of an eye, a month later, in the falling cloud cave abode. Buzz. Qi Ming sat cross-legged. The Dao runes of the Golden Core Great Dao circulated continuously. Although his cultivation level was only at the early stage core formation realm, his strength was already unfathomable. In addition, up until now, Qi Ming felt that he was getting closer and closer to breaking through the Golden Core Great Dao scripture. Calculating the time, Qi Ming pondered, Yuan Feng's calamity is about to arrive. Chapter 85, Clairvoyant Sights Heavenly Eye, Moon-Praying Demon Cult. Qi Ming calculated with his fingers and confirmed the exact time. The time of Yuan Feng's calamity was today. Therefore, Qi Ming circulated the Connate Purity Great Dao Golden Core and his dharmic powers surged. Then, he waved his hands again. He used a mystic technique of the heavenly constellation 36 techniques. It was called Clairvoyant Sight. As soon as this technique was executed, it could allow one to see everything clearly. There was no barrier between the heavens and the earth, and all things inside and outside of the six paths were visible to the naked eye. In layman's terms, this was also called the heavenly eye. Of course, Qi Ming currently could not reach the level of viewing the 9 heavens above or the 9 nether below. However, through the mysterious senses and karma, he could still see the situation on Yuan Feng's side. If Qi Ming could borrow the Heaven Enlightenment mirror again, he would truly display the power of the mystic technique, Clairvoyant Sight, but he also needed a huge amount of dharmic powers to support it. For cultivators, after their cultivation level reached the core formation realm, their golden core would condense in their bodies and their foundation establishment spirit energy would transform. What they grasped was no longer spirit energy but golden core dharmic powers. Clairvoyant Sight. Buzz. The dharmic powers in Qi Ming's body surged out. In front of him, an illusory mirror appeared out of thin air. At the beginning, the scene in the mirror was still blurry and covered in a faint fog. Qi Ming waved his right hand again. The faint fog seemed to be dispelled by a powerful force and completely disappeared. The scene in the mirror was very clear in Qi Ming's eyes. Success! Qi Ming was overjoyed. He was originally a little worried that he would not be able to use it. After his joy, Qi Ming's gaze landed on Yuan Feng in the mirror and he sighed with emotion, as expected of the heavenly constellation 36 techniques. The Yuan Sheng Empire is very far from the Green Cloud Peak, and the Heaven Origin City is even more so. It's at least 10,000 miles away. Even at such a distance, I can still see so clearly. Actually, on second thought, using the modern technology of Earth, he could also achieve the heavenly eye effect. Video chatting, live streaming, news broadcasting, and so on. They were all relatively common. Using the technology satellite, he could send images from thousands of miles away in real time. It was very convenient. The clairvoyant sight of the heavenly constellation 36 techniques did not use technology, but the mysteries of the heaven and earth great Dao and dharmic powers to achieve it. Although the two were different, there were some similarities. In the scene, in Heaven Origin City, which was thousands of miles away from the Heaven Enlightenment Sect, the group was in trouble. Moreover, Yuan Feng was also in an extremely dangerous situation. This matter started nearly a month ago. At that time, Yuan Feng accepted the mission to preside over Heaven Origin City and rode a sect ship there. After she arrived, nothing happened. Moreover, on the 7th day after she arrived at Heaven Origin City, Yuan Feng even used the teleportation array to return to Yuan Sheng Imperial City and take a look at her father and mother. After staying in Yuan Sheng Imperial City for 3 days, she returned to Heaven Origin City. This was because a human-eating demon had appeared in Heaven Origin City and needed her to deal with it. All in all, it only took half a day. Yuan Feng found the human-eating demon. It was a demon wolf that had gained demonic powers. It had infiltrated Heaven Origin City and committed crimes. Everything after that was ordinary, until 3 days ago, something happened very quickly without any signs. The moon-praying demon cult, which had been destroyed by the legacy disciples of the Heaven Enlightenment sect 300 years ago, had risen from the ashes. The sect master of the moon-praying demon cult had escaped death 300 years ago, and his nascent soul had possessed a body to cultivate from scratch again. His cultivation level had already reached the early stage nascent soul realm. On the same day, the moon-praying demon cult master led the demon cult members he had temporarily established to directly attack Heaven Origin City and slaughter their way into the city, capturing tens of thousands of citizens. The Heaven Enlightenment sect disciples and elders guarding Heaven Origin City were all no match for him. There were many casualties, and they could only abandon the city and escape. After experiencing countless hardships, they fled into the Heaven Origin mountain range, which was 5 kilometers away from Heaven Origin City. They had temporarily survived. Moon-praying demon cult. Qi Ming thought of something and looked at the scene in the mirror. Yuan Feng and the others were injured quite badly, and their clothes were a little tattered. They looked very miserable. This name gives me a familiar feeling. Qi Ming had already thought of the immortal hero drama he had watched on Earth a long time ago. In this immortal hero drama, there was also a great villain called Sect Master Moon Praying. The only thing that made him speechless was the great villain, Sect Master, Moon Praying insisted on studying science in the world of immortals. He was simply out of place. How could he not die in this situation? I'm off topic. Qi Ming shook his head and stopped thinking about it. He looked at Yuan Feng in the mirror and pondered for a moment before he said, Yuan Feng, what do you plan to do now? Heavenly Origin Mountain Range. Only 5 Heaven Enlightenment sect disciples and elders had escaped from Heaven Origin City, including Yuan Feng. The others all died in the city. Of course, the moon-praying demon cult had also suffered considerable losses. Cough cough. Yuan Feng's hair was a little disheveled. She held a sword in her hand, and the blood monkey had also lost a leg. Its injuries were not light, and their conditions were extremely poor. Elder. At this moment, a thin-faced young disciple looked at the square-faced middle-aged man beside him. What should we do now? Should we ask the sect for help? The square-faced middle-aged man's full name was Lei Qi. He was an outer sect elder at the late-stage core formation realm and had condensed a 5th-grade true core. Lei Qi had accepted the sect's mission 100 years ago to oversee Heavenly Origin City and protect the surrounding peace in case the demon cult's demon spawn grew. After the mission was completed, he could return to the Heaven Enlightenment sect and receive the corresponding rewards. With these rewards, he had a chance to take another step forward and break through to the nascent soul realm. At that time, he could become an inner sect elder. However, he did not expect that after 300 years, the moon-praying demon cult, which had been destroyed by the legacy disciples of the Heaven Enlightenment sect 300 years ago, would actually rise again and directly attack Heaven Origin City. If Lei Qi asked the sect for help now, his mission would directly fail. His 100 years of hard work would be wasted, and he would not obtain any benefits. Moreover, even if Lei Qi requested for reinforcements from the sect, the reinforcements would probably not arrive so quickly. They needed time. While waiting for the reinforcements from the sect, the moon-praying demon cult master might very well attack and capture them in one fell swoop. This is absurd. Lei Qi could not help but curse. The moon-praying demon cult has already disappeared for 300 years. Why did it suddenly appear? Moreover, there was no sign at all. Why does moon-praying demon cult have to take down Heaven Origin City? The other disciple looked a little anxious and said, we can't hesitate anymore. We escaped from Heaven Origin City with great difficulty. We have to contact the Heaven Enlightenment sect as soon as possible. The sect master of the moon-praying demon cult is too strong. He has an early-stage nascent soul realm cultivation. The city protection formation of Heaven Origin City was forcefully broken by him. Elder. The last disciple also said. Forget it. Lei Qi was very helpless, but he had no choice. He took a deep breath and said, "You're right. We indeed can't delay. If the people from the moon-praying demon cult catch up, I'm afraid we won't be able to escape." With a thought, he took out the talisman that could contact the Heaven Enlightenment sect. It was called the 10,000 miles sound transmission talisman. Buzz. Lei Qi circulated his dharmic powers and injected them into it, preparing to activate the 10,000 miles sound transmission talisman to seek help from the Heaven Enlightenment sect. Suddenly, an accident happened. Among the three disciples, the disciple closest to Lei Qi had a fanatical look in his eyes. Clang! He held the sword in his hand and circulated all his spirit energy to stab at Lei Qi's heart. "You're courting death." Lei Qi was furious. However, this distance was too close. In addition, Lei Qi was injured and unprepared. At this critical moment, he could only barely activate his defense. Boom! The defensive barrier was pierced by the sword, but the sword also lost most of its power. It only pierced through Lei Qi's skin and flesh and failed to pierce his heart. The disciple's target was obviously not Lei Qi, but his 10,000 miles sound transmission talisman. He bit his tongue and condensed a blood arrow that spat out. Taking advantage of Lei Qi's panic, the blood arrow shattered the 10,000 miles sound transmission talisman. "Traitor! You traitor!" Lei Qi roared. "Ha ha ha!" The disciple laughed wildly. "The moon-praying divine cult is invincible. If you worship the moon, you will see eternal life." Clang! In an instant, a sharp sword light flashed. Phew! Blood splattered. This disciple's head was chopped off by Yuan Feng's sword. Blood spurted out as the headless corpse fell. Thick blood formed a pool of blood around the corpse's broken neck. Yuan Feng. Lei Qi was stunned. "This kind of traitor deserves death," Yuan Feng said coldly. Gulp. The other two disciples swallowed their saliva. In the Battle of Heaven Origin City, Yuan Feng's strength had indeed obtained the recognition of everyone. Although she was only at the early stage Foundation establishment realm, coupled with the spirit pet blood monkey, she had killed many moon-praying demon disciples. Yuan Feng asked, "Do you still have another 10,000 miles sound transmission talisman?" Lei Qi's expression was a little gloomy. "This talisman is very precious. I only had one. I didn't expect a traitor to be following me. This is really... Sigh. I was too careless." Upon hearing this, the other two disciples' expressions darkened. The current situation was already a dead end. They could not ask for help from the Heaven Enlightenment sect. Coupled with the fact that there was a traitor following beside them, their location was definitely exposed. They could not escape nor fight. There was only death. Elder Yuan Feng took a deep breath. She was very calm and decisive at this moment. "We have to leave this place immediately and find another location to hide. Also, I have a way to deal with the sect master of the moon-praying demon cult." "You have a way?" Lei Qi raised his head, and his eyes lit up slightly, but they quickly dimmed. Clearly, he did not believe that the early-stage Foundation establishment Yuan Feng could have any good ideas. Yuan Feng continued, "Please believe me. Moreover, you can only believe me. This is the only way. No matter what, let's leave this place first." "All right." Lei Qi nodded. Chapter 86, Nailhead 7 Arrows. At this moment, Qi Ming was observing the situation in Heaven Origin City through the Clairvoyant sight. Yuan Feng and the others had already left their original place and found a safer new hiding place. In Heaven Origin City. "Save me! Save me! Oh heavens! Why are you doing this to me? No! No! Ah! Son! Run! Run! Don't turn back! Don't turn back! Lord, Lord, I beg you, I beg you! Let go of my daughter! She's still a child! She's only 6 years old, only 6 years old! In the scene, Qi Ming saw a miserable scene. The citizens in the city were crying. Flames rose and houses burned. The disciples of the moon-praying cult who had slaughtered their way into the city were no longer humans. They had transformed into endless evil ghosts that had walked out of hell. Burn, kill, rob. They committed all kinds of crimes. There were simply too many sins. Such evil deeds. When Qi Ming saw this scene in front of him, his originally calm Dao heart could not help but ripple slightly as anger surged in his heart. Nail had 7 arrows. Buzz. Qi Ming indeed could not hold back. He first grabbed at the mirror with his right hand. From thousands of miles away, he grabbed a wisp of qi and waved his left hand. Buzz. Buzz. The dharmic powers in his body surged out. They first condensed into a transparent straw doll, fusing with the strand of aura before condensing into a magic arrow. Die. Pew. Qi Ming clasped his hands, and the magic arrow directly pierced into the transparent straw doll. Scarlet blood flowed out of the straw doll's wound. Ah! A miserable cry sounded. In the mirror, the hideous moon-praying cult disciple suddenly let out an incomparably miserable cry. His chest was pierced by an invisible arrow, and blood flowed out. Destroy! Boom! Qi Ming grabbed with his right hand, and the transparent straw doll and arrow turned to ash. The moon-praying cult disciple directly exploded into flesh and blood that filled the sky. He died very tragically. The mother who had fallen to the ground was stunned, but she reacted as quickly as possible. She first knelt on the ground and quickly kowtowed to an unknown place several times. Her forehead was injured, and then she turned around to hug her daughter and fled into the distance. Run! Phew! Qi Ming coughed out a mouthful of blood and his face was slightly pale. Just now, he was thousands of miles away and forcefully used his own dharmic powers to condense the nail-head 7 arrows technique without relying on any medium. Although he had instantly cursed and killed a member of the moon-praying cult, Qi Ming had also suffered a backlash from this divine power mystic technique. Fortunately, Qi Ming had the void imperfection golden body protecting him, so nothing could harm him. Therefore, he only suffered some light injuries. It was not very serious, but his dharmic powers were greatly exhausted. However, that mother and daughter still could not escape the fate of certain death because the entire city was occupied by the moon-praying demon cult. Where could they escape to? Not long after, they were chased by several moon-praying cult members and directly slashed to death. Sigh. Qi Ming indeed could not bear to see this happen, but he did not have a good solution. He said in a low voice, "The heavens will not tolerate such a demon cult. It must be destroyed. Yuan Feng, I'll leave this matter to you. Don't disappoint me." The scene changed. In the deepest part of the Heaven Origin mountain range. Elder, senior brothers. With a wave of her jade hand, Yuan Feng took out the grey straw doll and black bow that Qi Ming had given her. It was the nail-head 7 arrows that Qi Ming had refined. "This is the Dharma artifact, nail-head 7 arrows, that Uncle Master gave me." Nail-head 7 arrows. Lei Qi pondered for a moment and frowned slightly. "I've never heard of such a treasure." "Me neither." The other 2 senior brothers shook their heads. "Yuan Feng, can I know who your Uncle Master is?" Lei Qi asked. "My Uncle Master is a legacy disciple." Yuan Feng could not help but raise her head and straighten her chest. Because when she talked about her Uncle Master, who was Qi Ming, she felt a sense of pride and pride surge from the bottom of her heart. Legacy disciple. This. Lei Qi and the others widened their eyes with surprise and joy. They looked at Yuan Feng as if they had seen a new hope. "I didn't expect that your Uncle Master is actually a legacy disciple." "I'm sorry." Which legacy disciple is it? Qi Ming. Legacy disciple Qi. Yuan Feng replied directly, his master is Elder Feng, one of the 9 legacy elders of the Green Cloud Peak. Legacy disciple Qi. The joy on Lei Qi and the others' faces decreased greatly. Although they had not been in the Heaven Enlightenment sect for a long time, they still knew a little about important matters like legacy disciples. First, Qi Ming had become a legacy disciple 3 years ago and used a month to master the Chaos Green Lotus Sword scripture. He had suppressed the other legacy disciples of the 11 peaks at the Heaven Enlightenment Assembly. His current cultivation level was already at the core formation realm. This was the information they knew and heard. Because of the Heaven Enlightenment Assembly 3 years ago, Dragon Alligator Venerable had killed his way into the Heaven Enlightenment sect. The news and commotion were huge, and many cultivators in the southern region knew Qi Ming. Although Qi Ming had never left the Heaven Enlightenment sect, he had long been famous. However, they were now facing a great demon whose cultivation level had reached the early stage nascent soul realm. Qi Ming was a legacy disciple, he was very strong and had extraordinary talent. Under such circumstances, even if Qi Ming came personally, he might not be a match for the moon-praying demon cult master. It was almost impossible for a core formation realm cultivator to kill a nascent soul realm cultivator. Moreover, the artifact in Yuan Feng's hand was only a Dharma artifact refined by Qi Ming, so it was even more impossible for it to injure the moon-praying demon cult master in the slightest. Relying on a Dharma artifact to defeat an early-stage nascent soul demon cultivator? This was completely impossible. There was no way it would work. This is a curse artifact. Its grade has reached the top grade core formation realm, but it can only be used once. The method to use it is very simple. Yuan Feng did not notice the changes in Lei Qi and the others' expressions. Instead, she continued, you only need to set up an altar and place the straw doll in my hand in the center of the altar. Then, you can write the name of the Heavenly Moon Demon Cult Master on the body of the straw doll and light 2 lamps. One above, one below. Moving in accordance to the astral winds, we'll burn the talisman seals. Every day, we will perform 3 kowtows in the morning, afternoon, and evening respectively. Until 7 days later, the 3 souls and 7 spirits of the cursed person will be scattered. Then, the cursed person will be shot by this arrow and lose their life. How can there be such a Dharma artifact in this world? Lei Qi's face was filled with disbelief. That's absurd. Another disciple said, you only need to kowtow 3 times a day to kill the enemy? Is that true? It feels too unreal. That's right. The last disciple nodded, I've never heard of such a curse technique. Uncle Master wouldn't lie to me. Yuan Feng said, moreover, Uncle Master's methods and abilities are completely not what you can imagine. Moreover, this technique has the greatest flaw. That is, during the 7 days of the spell, the enemy may discover us. Before the spell is completed, the enemy will already arrive at our door. Next, we have to be careful. We can't let the other party discover us. Moreover, if the other party finds us, you have to stop them and stall until we complete this spell. Lei Qi and the others fell silent. They really found it hard to believe that a straw doll, a bow, and a few talismans could curse and kill a nascent soul in 7 days. It was too unreal. That was a nascent soul realm cultivator. I'll still say the same thing. You have no choice but to trust me. Yuan Feng said in a low voice, or should I say that you want to betray the Heaven Enlightenment sect and join the moon-praying demon cult to beg for survival? Think about it carefully. After saying that, Yuan Feng began to set up. She did not dare to waste any time. Although Yuan Feng was only at the early stage foundation establishment realm, her aura had already suppressed Lei Qi and the others. Betray the Heaven Enlightenment sect? How is that possible? Lei Qi shook his head. The Heaven Enlightenment sect was one of the 4 great sects of the southern region. It could be said to be the leader of the righteous path. If they betrayed the Heaven Enlightenment sect, would the southern region still have room for them to survive? That was unless they completely joined the myriad demon cave. They did not want to take this path until the last moment. Okay. Lei Qi took a deep breath. We can only believe in legacy disciple Qi ability and methods now. We can only believe what you say, Yuan Feng. That's right. That's the only way. Let us help you. The other two disciples said. Yuan Feng nodded. Build the altar first. Not bad. Qi Ming nodded slightly. He was quite satisfied with Yuan Feng's performance. He recalled the trajectory of Yuan Feng's fate that he had deduced with the future sight. According to the trajectory of fate deduced by the future sight, Yuan Feng will suffer a calamity in Heaven Origin City and face a situation of near death. She only has two choices. First, fight against the moon-praying demon cult and die. Second, display her own value and attract the attention of the moon-praying demon cult master. She can betray the Heaven Enlightenment sect and join the cult to become a demoness. Originally, Yuan Feng only had these two possibilities. Qi Ming gave her the third possibility. That was to change the situation and curse a nascent soul. As long as Yuan Feng succeeded, she would be able to break free from her original shackles and trajectory. As for how far she could go in the future, it would depend on her luck. Of course, this was also an experiment for Qi Ming. What would the exact outcome be? Qi Ming was not sure yet. Because after he interfered, his own vital energy would be involved. If he continued to deduce, it would form a fog that was impossible to see through. There was a saying that a doctor could not treat himself. Qi Ming's current Dao attainment could deduce the future and trajectory of others, but he could not calculate a future that was very related to him. He could only see a layer of fog. It's starting. Yuan Feng had already set up everything. The altar was built, the two lamps had been lit, the talisman seals were formed, and the straw doll was placed on it. Right. Yuan Feng bit her finger and blood seeped out. Just as she was about to write on the straw doll, she paused. What's the true name of the moon-praying demon cult master? I don't know. The two disciples were stunned. They looked at each other and shook their heads in confusion. Yuan Feng's beautiful face slowly darkened. Chapter 87, Hornless Dragon Life Transformation Array. The use of the nail-head 7 arrows required one to know the true name of the enemy. The moon-praying demon cult master had only returned to life after 300 years, so naturally, many people had forgotten his name. Yuan Feng did not know it herself. I know. Lei Qi said. Elder, please speak. Yuan Feng heaved a sigh of relief and her darkened expression returned to normal. She almost thought that she was really done for this time. Fortunately, Elder Lei Qi knew the name of the moon-praying demon cult master. His surname is Shi, and his name is Zhao Yuan. Lei Qi said. Shi Zhao Yuan. Yuan Feng muttered. Lei Qi nodded. Okay. Yuan Feng did not hesitate. With a wave of her jade finger, the blood on her finger quickly wrote the name Shi Zhao Yuan on the straw doll. Then, Yuan Feng stepped forward and took out the talisman in her hand. She formed a talisman and burned it with her own true fire before bowing slightly to the straw doll on the altar. It was done in a flash. That's it. The disciple standing at the side asked. Yuan Feng nodded. This is only the beginning. There are still 7 days left. All right. The two disciples shrugged. Illusionary array disc. Go. Swish. Lei Qi waved his right hand and took out an array disc. This was an illusion array formation technique. The array disc tore through the air. After his dharmic powers were stimulated, it formed an array formation that enveloped the surroundings. I wonder how long this illusion array can last. Lei Qi said, in the next period of time, we can't go out casually. If any of the moon-praying cult disciples touch here, as long as they don't find us, we'll pretend that we didn't see them. If the other party discovers anything, kill him immediately. We can't let him send this information to Shi Zhao Yuan. Got it. Yes, Elder. The two disciples nodded solemnly. The scene changed, in Heaven Origin City, in the City Lord Manor. Qi Ming saw the sect master of the moon praying demon cult, Shi Zhao Yuan, through his clairvoyant sight. This was a square-faced middle-aged man. His black hair was long and scattered behind him. It had a slight natural curl to it. His hands were crossed in front of him habitually, and there was a hint of pity on his face. The reason why Qi Ming could observe Shi Zhao Yuan through the clairvoyant sight was because he had located Shi Zhao Yuan through the karma between him and Yuan Feng. Qi Ming's current cultivation level was not high. He was only a golden core and could not truly achieve the heavenly eye technique. He could not see whoever he wanted to see and what he wanted to see. He was still a long way from reaching this realm. What? Shi Zhao Yuan frowned slightly. He could vaguely sense someone spying on him, but after his spiritual consciousness scanned his surroundings, he did not discover anything. Am I being too cautious? Shi Zhao Yuan pondered. As expected of a nascent soul realm cultivator. Qi Ming sighed in his heart, he actually sensed me. Although it's only a faint feeling, it's a pity. We're thousands of miles apart. It's impossible for you to discover me. At this moment, Shi Zhao Yuan was alone. His sect master and subordinates had temporarily dispersed. He walked into the City Lord Manor and arrived at a spot in the back garden. With a sweep of his spiritual consciousness, he had already determined the location. This is the place. Shi Zhao Yuan's eyes were filled with excitement. He took a deep breath and circulated the vast nascent soul dharmic powers in his body. His right foot stepped on the ground. Rumble. The ground shook violently as if an earthquake had happened. The entire City Lord Manor was shaking violently. The surrounding members of the moon praying cult looked over. Although they were puzzled, they did not dare to approach. Instead, they took a few glances and retracted their gazes. This was because Shi Zhao Yuan had ordered that no matter what happened in the City Lord Manor, they could not get close. Those who got close would be dealt with according to the rules. They would be killed without mercy. Crack! Crack! The ground in the back garden of the City Lord Manor shattered, and cracks appeared. Shi Zhao Yuan raised his right hand, and his dharmic powers swept in all directions, raising a layer of earth. A black door appeared on the ground. This was the entrance to a basement. There was a black crescent mark on the door. Found it! Shi Zhao Yuan laughed. He quickly walked over and stood in front of the black door. He looked down and formed hand seals, condensing a black crescent talisman that fused into the black crescent mark on the door. Rumble. The ground shook slightly as the black door slowly opened. The dark passage came into view. Go! Shi Zhao Yuan did not hesitate. He quickly walked into the dark passageway. He raised his right hand, and a crimson flame burned in his palm, illuminating the passageway. He continued down the stairway. About 100 meters away, he arrived at the end. In front of him was another black door, but it was even larger. The black crescent moon in the center was also enlarged many times. Shi Zhao Yuan formed hand seals again and condensed a black crescent moon to open this huge black door. The underground space appeared in his vision. Ha ha ha! Shi Zhao Yuan walked in and looked at his surroundings. In front of him was a small pond 9 meters in diameter. In the direction of the 8 trigrams, 9 identical sculptures were placed on the shore of the pond. The appearance of the statue was Hornless dragon. The sight was truly lifelike. In the center of the pond was a Dao platform that floated above the water. On the Dao platform was a black dragon that was like a crescent moon. Of course, this was not a true dragon. 300 years, a full 300 years. Shi Zhao Yuan roared with laughter, this is my life's work. After 300 years, I'm finally about to successfully nurture the Hornless Dragon Life Transformation Array. Ha ha ha. Shi Zhao Yuan laughed crazily, Nai Fenjiun, do you know how I spent the past 300 years? I will never forget the grudge from 300 years ago. Just wait, when I completely fuse with the Hornless Dragon Life Transformation Array and produce the Hornless Dragon Essence, my aptitude will definitely increase by a level. It's only a matter of time before I break through the nascent soul realm. I will definitely repay the humiliation of 300 years 100 or 1,000 times. After laughing wildly and excitedly, Shi Zhaoyuan calmed down. He observed the Hornless Dragon Life Transformation Array. 3 days. Shi Zhaoyuan said, there are still 3 days before the Hornless Dragon Essence can be completed. Shi Zhaoyuan waved his right hand and closed the black door behind him. He sat cross-legged and closed his eyes, quietly guarding this place. I see. Qi Ming did a little deduction and basically understood. He had already figured out the entire situation. 300 years ago, the legacy disciple of the Heaven Enlightenment Sect, Feng, accepted the mission of the sect and came to Heavenly Origin City to calm the demon cult's chaos. He used his absolute strength to suppress the moon-praying demon cult. Moreover, Shi Zhaoyuan was almost killed by Feng. His essence soul fled, took over his body, and cultivated again. His hundreds of years of cultivation had been destroyed. He had cultivated in seclusion for 300 years. He developed the moon-praying demon cult in secret. Finally, not long ago, he had reached the nascent soul realm. Therefore, he could not wait to attack Heaven Origin City. He defeated the city protecting formation with absolute strength and easily captured it. The reason why Shi Zhaoyuan could not wait to take down Heaven Origin City was because of the Hornless Dragon Life Transformation Array that he had set up 300 years ago. Back then, Shi Zhaoyuan had accidentally obtained a dragon pearl, but it was only an incomplete item. He could be considered to be lucky. He had picked up another opportunity at an auction and bought the Hornless Dragon Life Transformation Array. Shi Zhaoyuan had bewitched the original City Lord of Heaven Origin City and spent a lot of effort to set up the Hornless Dragon Life Transformation Array under the City Lord Manor. This array was connected to the 8 underground spirit meridians attached to Heaven Origin City. Moreover, it would quietly devour the luck of the citizens of Heaven Origin City. The reason why the Heaven Enlightenment Sect had sent Feng here back then was because they had sensed the change in the luck of Heaven Origin City, so it had slightly attracted their attention. Unfortunately, after Feng arrived, Shi Zhaoyuan directly killed the original City Lord of Heaven Origin City and killed all the relevant people who knew about it. There's more. Shi Zhaoyuan specially adjusted the speed at which the Hornless Dragon Life Transformation Array absorbed the Providence. Originally, the Hornless Dragon Life Transformation Array only needed 10 years to nurture the Dragon Pearl into the Hornless Dragon Essence. After Shi Zhaoyuan adjusted it, it required a full 300 years. This way, Feng had destroyed the moon-praying demon cult but could not find out the true reason for the change in Providence. Coupled with the fact that the change seemed to have disappeared, Feng returned to the sect. However, Shi Zhaoyuan had schemed and fled with his essence soul. After 300 years, he returned. It was as expected of a nascent soul great demon. This Shi Zhaoyuan is quite a talent. Qi Ming said. In the blink of an eye, 3 days later. It's already the 3rd day. Yuan Feng took a deep breath, and her expression was a little haggard. Lei Qi and the others were similar. In the past 3 days, they had been 120% focused. Fortunately, because of the protection of the illusion array, they were not exposed. Elder. One of the disciples said, according to your instructions, I went out to investigate a few times. There are more and more moon-praying cult members in the Heaven Origin mountain range. I'm afraid we won't be able to hide for long. Lei Qi nodded and asked Yuan Feng, how's the completion of this curse technique of yours? Soon. Yuan Feng replied, there are still 4 days. Lei Qi took a deep breath. Lei Qi had already bet on Yuan Feng and Qi Ming. Because if he gave up, not to mention whether he could escape, even if he did, his 100-year mission would be ruined. He would not be able to obtain anything. He could only risk it. Although Shi Zhao Yuan had secretly developed the moon-praying demon cult, after the lesson 300 years ago, he did not dare to develop the sect too much. Therefore, apart from Shi Zhao Yuan, the moon-praying demon cult was a motley crew. Out of thousands of disciples, apart from Shi Zhao Yuan, there was only one core formation realm cultivator, and it was also a third-grade false core. Therefore, as long as Shi Zhao Yuan died, Lei Qi would have the confidence to bring Yuan Feng and the other two disciples back to Heaven Origin City and destroy the entire moon-praying demon cult. In the underground space of the city Lord Manor. Roar! Suddenly, a faint dragon roar sounded from the Dao platform. The hornless dragon seemed to have revived. It wanted to rush into the sky, but it was suppressed by an invisible force. Ha ha ha! Shi Zhao Yuan raised his head and laughed. He jumped up and pounced over like a black stream of light, rushing towards the hornless dragon on the platform. I succeeded. Chapter 88, Hornless Dragon Essence. 6 days have passed. Just as Shi Zhao Yuan had said, the hornless dragon essence was indeed completely nurtured in 3 days. The moment it succeeded, he pounced forward without any hesitation and sat cross-legged on the Dao platform. Roar! Roar! Below, the black crescent moon that was like a dragon seemed to have come alive. It kept struggling and emitted wisps of extremely pure dragon qi that were absorbed by Shi Zhao Yuan. The energy of the hornless dragon essence is truly immense. Shi Zhao Yuan could no longer hide the excitement on his face. He was very happy at this moment. After plotting for 300 years, it was finally time to harvest the fruits. Qi Ming looked at the changes in Shi Zhao Yuan and muttered softly, "If I don't interfere, this Shi Zhao Yuan might be able to go far and have a chance to become a true demon." However, he recalled the miserable state of the citizens of Heaven Origin City and the scene of the mother and daughter being slashed to death. His gaze gradually turned cold. Qi Ming was not a saint. Moreover, even true saints had different personalities. Qi Ming did not see such a thing. He probably did not care, nor did he have the energy to care. However, by chance he had seen it. If he ignored it and pretended that he did not see anything, Qi Ming could not overcome the hurdle in his heart. It could breed inner demons. Therefore, the moon-praying demon cult had to be exterminated. Night came. According to the rule of kowtowing 3 times in the morning, afternoon, and evening, when the night came, Yuan Feng kowtowed to the straw doll who had written the name Shi Zhao Yuan again. Somehow, a curse power spread. It was used on Shi Zhao Yuan. Shi Zhao Yuan was absorbing the hornless dragon essence, but his mind was a little dazed. He did not know what was going on either. His essence soul shook a little, and the dharmic powers in his body fluctuated. The dragon qi that surged into his body fluctuated violently. Shi Zhao Yuan was shocked. He quickly focused his mind and circulated his cultivation method to suppress the violent dragon qi in his body. He slowly sorted it out. What happened just now? Shi Zhao Yuan frowned. He felt that something was amiss. He was a nascent soul great cultivator. How could he fall into a trance? Moreover, he was still in a highly focused state of refining the hornless dragon essence, so he should not be in a daze. This situation happened inexplicably and there was no sign of it. Could it be because I absorbed the hornless dragon essence? Shi Zhao Yuan pondered. The power and strangeness of the nail-head 7 arrows were indeed mysterious. Even Zhao Gongming, a golden immortal, had his 3 souls and 7 spirits almost scattered when he was struck by the nail-head 7 arrows. If not for Grandmaster Wen Zhong reminding Zhao Gongming, as a Zenith Heaven golden immortal, Zhao Gongming would not have discovered that he had been cursed by the nail-head 7 arrows. Of course, the nail-head 7 arrows refined by Qi Ming could not be compared to the real thing, Nail-head 7 arrows book. The difference between the two was like the difference between a firefly and a bright moon. However, Shi Zhao Yuan was only a nascent soul great demon. He naturally could not compare to Zhao Gongming, who was a golden immortal. He was also a firefly compared to the bright moon. Therefore, Shi Zhaoyuan could not find out that he was cursed by this mysterious curse technique. After some thought, Shi Zhaoyuan could only attribute the reason to the hornless dragon essence. He guessed that the effect of the dragon essence was too powerful, which was why there was such a backlash during the refinement. How sad! He's about to die but doesn't know it. Qi Ming shook his head. On the fourth day, Yuan Feng kowtowed 3 times again. The number of times Shi Zhaoyuan appeared to be in a daze had increased. The speed at which he refined the hornless dragon essence had also slowed down greatly. It even almost caused the dragon qi to go berserk. The situation has become more severe. Shi Zhaoyuan frowned and had a serious expression. He lowered his head and looked at the hornless dragon essence beneath him. He took a deep breath and said, "I need to speed up and absorb the hornless dragon essence as soon as possible." Heaven Origin Mountain Range. The Moon Praying Cult disciples formed a small team to patrol the surroundings and search for Yuan Feng and the others everywhere, but they did not find many traces. However, as they gradually went deeper, they were already close to the place where Yuan Feng and the others were hiding. "Elder," the disciple said, "there are already Moon Praying Cult members around." Lei Qiai nodded. He looked at Yuan Feng and instructed the other 2 disciples, "Cheer up. Whether we can win or not will be in the next few days. Keep a close eye on those Moon Praying Cult members. As long as they discover anything, immediately attack." "Yes. Got it." The 2 disciples nodded solemnly. On the 5th day, Yuan Feng kowtowed 3 more times. At night. Phew! This time, Shi Zhaoyuan's situation was extremely serious. He could not suppress the violent dragon qi in his body, causing him to suffer a backlash. He spat out blood and his face was pale. However, when he recovered, he checked his body, but he did not discover anything. He was not injured at all, and his essence soul was very normal. What exactly is going on? Gradually, Shi Zhaoyuan became more and more anxious, but he had no idea what was going on. On the 6th day, 3 times in the morning, afternoon, and evening, Yuan Feng kowtowed again. This time, Shi Zhaoyuan had already fallen into the pool below. His clothes were drenched, and his hair was disheveled. His face was pale, and he was extremely abnormal. How can this be? How can this be? Shi Zhaoyuan was at a loss. He looked around and used his spiritual consciousness to scan his surroundings, but he could not find anything. He checked his body, but he could not see any injuries. This feeling made Shi Zhaoyuan feel like he was about to go crazy. After 6 days and 3 daily kowtows from Yuan Feng, Shi Zhaoyuan's 3 souls and 7 spirits were already on the verge of dissipating. It was just that he could not discover it. No. No. Shi Zhaoyuan stood up and rushed out of the pond. He looked at the hornless dragon essence on the Dao platform. In 6 days, he had already absorbed more than half of it and changed his body. However, under the curse of the nail-head 7 arrows, even if he absorbed the hornless dragon essence and changed his body, it was useless. He could not even control it. There must be a problem, there must be a problem. What's the problem? Shi Zhaoyuan pondered crazily in his mind. Could it be Nifenjiun? He has actually already discovered the hornless dragon life transformation array? So he tampered with it? No. No. Shi Zhaoyuan shook his head. Nifenjiun probably doesn't know that I'm not dead. If he discovered this hornless dragon life transformation array, there's no way I could have kept it. It would have been destroyed by him long ago. Or could it be because there has been a change in the hornless dragon life transformation array in the past 300 years? That's not right. Shi Zhaoyuan shook his head again and pondered carefully. I've already checked carefully. There are no changes or abnormalities in the transformation array. There's no problem with the hornless dragon essence. Excluding these possibilities, there's someone deliberately targeting me. Moreover, they used a method that I don't know at all. If that's the case, who will the enemy be? Shi Zhaoyuan fell into deep thought. Images and figures appeared in his mind. These were his past enemies and potential enemies. However, they were all eliminated by Shi Zhaoyuan. 300 years ago, Shi Zhaoyuan had already died. Now that Shi Zhaoyuan had returned to life, it was unknown if his old friends and enemies were still alive. Even if he was still alive, it was also impossible for them to deal with Shi Zhaoyuan in such a timely manner. Could it be them? Suddenly, an idea flashed in Shi Zhaoyuan's mind. He remembered the elders and disciples of the Heaven Enlightenment sect who were guarding Heaven Origin City. This made him feel enlightened. That's right. Shi Zhaoyuan stood up. His eyes flickered as if they had broken through the layers of fog. After we broke into Heaven Origin City, because I was in a hurry to find the Hornless Dragon Life Transformation Array, I did not pay much attention to the elders and disciples of the Heaven Enlightenment sect and directly came to the City Lord Manor. In the chaotic battle, there must be elders and disciples of the Heaven Enlightenment sect who fled. The Heaven Enlightenment sect is one of the 4 great sects of the southern region. Moreover, it's called the head of the righteous path. The disciples and elders of the Heaven Enlightenment sect definitely possess methods and spells that I don't know of. Although I really don't know what technique it is, I can't completely rule out the possibility that they can't injure me. There was no hesitation. Swish! Shi Zhaoyuan directly rushed out of the City Lord Manor's underground space and arrived outside. His figure rose into the air and stood above the City Lord Manor, looking down at his surroundings. Greetings, Cult Master. Cult Master's lifespan is as long as the heavens. The moon-praying divine cult is invincible. If you worship the moon, you will see eternal life. In the surroundings, many members of the moon-praying cult knelt down. They had fanatical expressions. They were like the most loyal believers. Shi Zhaoyuan was indeed quite skilled at bewitching people. Bai Meng! Shi Zhaoyuan shouted. Cult Master! Swish! Immediately, a figure tore through the sky and stood in front of Shi Zhaoyuan. He wore white clothes and had a handsome appearance, like a scholar that was familiar with reading books. Have you found those Heaven Enlightenment sect elders and disciples who fled? Shi Zhaoyuan asked in a low voice. Not yet. Bai Meng shook his head, but there are already clues. All kinds of traces and signs indicate that they are definitely hidden in the Heaven Origin mountain range. But we can't confirm the exact location. Continue searching. Shi Zhaoyuan shouted in a deep voice, no matter what methods you use, you have to find them. Yes. Bai Meng did not quite understand. Previously, the cult master was not too concerned about the elders and disciples of the Heaven Enlightenment sect, but now, he suddenly became so concerned. Bai Meng was momentarily unable to understand. It was fine if he did not understand. He only needed to follow the cult master's instructions. At the moment before his death, his instincts cleared his mind, allowing him to detect a trace of the cause. Qi Ming took in Shi Zhaoyuan's various performances. Under such circumstances, Shi Zhaoyuan was able to grasp this chance of survival. It indeed made Qi Ming look at him in a different light. Heaven Origin Mountain Range. In the place where Yuan Feng and the others were hiding, moon-praying cult members had already approached and even discovered some abnormalities. However, before they could return and send the news, they had already been killed by Lei Qi and the others, their corpses destroyed. We can't hide for long. Lei Qi said in a low voice. There's only one day left tomorrow. Yuan Feng took a deep breath, her beautiful eyes flickering. Although she looked haggard, her gaze was very bright. At that time, everything will be dealt with. The night passed. On the 7th day, in the morning, Yuan Feng moved in accordance to the astral winds, forming talismans that burned as she kowtowed towards the straw doll. Buzz! Somehow, Yuan Feng sensed an invisible force that had already acted on the straw doll. In her eyes, this straw doll had already obtained life. It's about to succeed. Yuan Feng's eyes lit up even more. Chapter 89, So It's You. In Heaven Origin City, Shi Zhaoyuan felt uneasy. It was already the 7th day. Shi Zhaoyuan instinctively felt the suffocation of death before a calamity. This feeling came inexplicably and without any reason, but it had already attracted Shi Zhaoyuan's intense attention. Moreover, his trance became worse. He could no longer continue refining the Hornless dragon essence. All members of the moon praying cult, gather. Shi Zhaoyuan chose to turn from passive to active. His gaze was cold, and there was an extremely intense killing intent in the depths of his eyes. He walked out of the city lord's mansion and gathered all his subordinates. Half an hour later. Greetings, cult master. The members of the moon praying cult had gathered. All disciples, listen up. Shi Zhaoyuan took a deep breath and shouted in a deep voice, all of you, follow me into the Heaven Origin mountain range. Find the elders and disciples of the Heaven Enlightenment Sect and kill them on the spot. Yes. Yes. The disciples of the moon praying cult shouted in unison. Let's go. Swish. Shi Zhaoyuan flew in the air, and Bai Meng followed closely behind. There were also many members of the moon praying cult. Most of them were only at the Qi refinement realm, and only a small number were at the foundation establishment realm. Moreover, they had basically all constructed the human Dao foundation. However, before Shi Zhaoyuan could fly out of Heaven Origin City, his mind was in a daze again. The dharmic powers in his body instantly became chaotic, and he almost fell from the sky. He even stabilized his body in time. Cult Master. Bai Meng rushed over with a worried tone. It's fine. Shi Zhaoyuan waved his hand, but cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Fear appeared in his heart. He was even more afraid than when he faced the true disciple of the Heaven Enlightenment Sect, Nai Fenjiun. This kind of strange and unpredictable method could not be found for any reason or track. Shi Zhaoyuan did not even know where he was injured. However, it really affected Shi Zhaoyuan. He was a nascent soul great cultivator. He almost fell while flying. It was as if a normal person would suddenly fall while walking. No one would believe such a thing. There must be something wrong with his body. We have to find them. Shi Zhaoyuan roared in his mind. The sensation of death rang alarms in Shi Zhaoyuan's mind. The final battle is about to begin. Qi Ming Yuan was thousands of miles away. He sat in the falling cloud cave abode and observed the scene before him through the clairvoyant sight. He waved his right hand. Qi Ming took out a pot of spiritual wine. It was called 100 Flowers Spiritual Wine. This was a spiritual wine that Yuan Feng had specially spent a lot of time and effort to brew. The spiritual qi contained in it was not very useful to Qi Ming, but it had a huge advantage. It tasted beautiful, tasted super delicious, and had an endless aftertaste. Good wine. Qi Ming took a sip. The fragrance spread in his mouth and nose, and the taste blossomed on the tip of his tongue. The soft and smooth texture and the refreshing fragrance of the wine praised from the bottom of his heart. Heaven Origin Mountain Range. Today is the last day. Yuan Feng said to Lei Qi and the others, as long as we finish our curse tonight, we can use this bow and arrow to kill Shi Zhaoyuan. Good. I hope it succeeds. If this can really curse and kill a nascent soul great demon, it will really be a miracle. Lei Qi and the other two disciples said. Not long after, Shi Zhaoyuan personally led the moon praying cult members into the Heaven Origin mountain range. Although the Heaven Origin mountain range was not very large, it was not small either. In the mountain range, there were also many demon beasts living here. However, Shi Zhaoyuan's aura was released completely. The pressure of a nascent soul cultivator spread out and suppressed everything. The demon beasts were all frightened into hiding and did not dare to show themselves. The moon praying cult disciples began to sweep through the entire Heaven Origin mountain range. Cult Master, why did you go to such great lengths to find them? Bai Meng could not help but ask. Just follow my instructions. Shi Ziyuan's expression darkened. Yes. Bai Meng lowered his head silently. Bai Meng had followed Shi Zhaoyuan for the longest time. He knew Shi Ziyuan's temper and nature the best. In all these years, he had never seen Shi Zhaoyuan so anxious. Something big must have happened. Find them. Try your best to find them. Bai Meng roared. Yes. Yes, Vice Cult Master. The disciples of the Moon Praying Cult replied loudly. It was close to noon. The members of the Moon Praying Cult had already approached the place where Yuan, Feng and the others were hiding. However, with Lei Qi's illusion array, these disciples were all confused. Why are there so many people all of a sudden? The expressions of the two disciples were a little ugly. I'm not sure either. Lei Qi shook his head. My illusion array formation is a top-grade core formation realm array formation. Normally speaking, it's very difficult to find any clues below the nascent soul realm, but it's not completely guaranteed. Shi Zhaoyuan must have sensed something. Yuan Feng said, it's already the 7th day, which is the last day. The power of the nail-head 7 arrows has already been slowly unleashed. Shi Zhaoyuan must have sensed it, which is why this happened. Don't worry. Everything will be settled tonight. Okay. That's right. The eyes of the two disciples lit up slightly. They originally did not believe Yuan Feng and could only try their best. However, after seeing the actions of the Moon Praying Cult disciples, hope burned in their hearts. Perhaps it would really work. At noon. Kowtow. Yuan Feng took a deep breath and kowtowed towards the straw doll. Buzz. The power of the supreme curse erupted. Ugh. At this moment, Shi Zhaoyuan directly spat out blood. His vision was blurry. In his mind, his 3 souls and 7 spirits were about to leave his body, and the dharmic powers in his body were running amok. Cult Master. Bai Meng was shocked. What's there to panic about? Shi Zhaoyuan wiped the blood off the corner of his mouth. His gaze was cold. Under the threat of death, he calmed down even more. Continue searching. Yes. Bai Meng nodded, his expression already serious. Honestly, Bai Meng did not know how the cult master was injured. Damn it! Shi Zhaoyuan clenched his fists and shouted in his heart, how can I, Shi Zhaoyuan, die in the hands of a despicable person like you? Time passed. Around the illusion array, although the members of the Moon Praying Cult were bewitched by the illusion formation and could not discover Yuan Feng and the others, because of the influence of the illusion formation, a situation where they took the wrong path would occur. It was fine if it was just once or twice. However, as the number of times increased, more and more people realized this. They felt that something was amiss. The disciples of the Moon Praying Cult began to suspect. Attack! Pu! 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 Lei Qi and the others rushed out of the illusion array and directly attacked, killing all the disciples of the Moon Praying Cult who had discovered the abnormality, not giving them any chance or time to report. Immediately after, they would drag the corpse in and destroy the evidence. In the evening. Cult Master. Bai Meng pointed ahead, it's right in front. Shi Ziyuan's face became even paler. His expression was cold, and there was a crazy gaze in the depths of his eyes. He looked at the place Bai Meng pointed at. Illusion array. With just a glance, Shi Zhaoyuan saw through the illusion array set up by Lei Qi. No matter how cautious Lei Qi and the others were, they would still make mistakes. This caused the news to leak and attract Shi Zhaoyuan. Illusion array. Bai Meng was stunned. This is a top-grade core formation realm illusion array. Shi Zhaoyuan continued, it's difficult to detect below the nascent soul realm. You will be bewitched by this illusion array. There's nothing in front of you, but it's actually a huge mountain. In the illusion array, in the cave at the foot of the mountain. Elder, Elder, Shi Zhao Yuan is here. The moon-praying demon cult master has personally come. The disciple shouted in shock. What should we do now? The other disciple asked. They really came. Lei Qi took a deep breath and tightened his grip on the Dharma treasure in his right hand. It was an iron rod. There were lightning runes carved on it and lightning flashed. Prepare to fight to the death. Lei Qi said in a low voice. Yes. I understand. The two disciples nodded. They could only fight to the death. Yuan Feng. Lei Qi shouted. Elder. Yuan Feng had already stood up and walked towards the altar. It's already time. Good. Lei Qi nodded. Hurry up. Break. Boom. Outside the illusion array, Shi Zhao Yuan attacked brazenly. With a wave of his right hand, boundless nascent soul dharmic powers surged out. The Dharma treasure, the 1,000 sails blood demon banner, flew out and transformed into a black cloud of blood demons that covered the sky. Boom! There was a loud sound. The 1,000 sails blood demon banner directly shattered Lei Qi's illusion array. It could not last for more than a few seconds. It could only be said that the difference between the two sides was a little too great. The illusion formation disappeared. A 500-meter tall mountain peak appeared in front of everyone. There's a mountain. It's an illusion array. We were all tricked. Damn it! The members of the moon-praying cult shouted. Rumble. The ground shook. Shi Zhao Yuan curled his right hand, and his dharmic powers surged. The demon banner forcefully swept up this 500-meter tall mountain from the ground and rose from the ground. Boom! The mountain peak crashed into the distance. Lei Qi, Yuan Feng, and the others had already been completely exposed. It's you. Shize Yuan's gaze was cold. He stared at Lei Qi and the others, and the killing intent in his eyes was not concealed. After sweeping his gaze, he immediately noticed Yuan Feng. Moreover, altar, straw doll, lamp. Shi Zhao Yuan saw them one by one. At this moment, his eyes twitched. So it's you. Shi Zhao Yuan had already completely reacted. With his eyesight, he could clearly see that the straw doll had his name written in blood. Although he did not know what these things were used for, somehow, under the effects of karma, he could sense that these things were the culprits. Kowtow. Yuan Feng was unmoved. She did not care about the changes in the outside world at all. After doing all of the actions and preparations, she formed a talisman and burned it. She kowtowed deeply towards the straw doll. In an instant. No. Shi Zhao Yuan felt as if a calamity was imminent. He let out a furious roar and discovered that the power of the curse surged around his body and surged into his body. He did not even have the time to take out his Dharma treasure. Ah! Phew! His 3 souls and 7 spirits shook violently. His essence soul was unstable, his nascent soul was unstable, and his dharmic powers was unstable. His body swayed as he spat out blood again and almost fell from the sky. Cult Master! Cult Master! Bai Meng and the moon-praying cult master shouted. Kill them! Kill them immediately! Shize Yuan's 3 souls and 7 spirits were almost dissipating. He stabilized his dharmic powers and essence soul with all his might and glared at Yuan Feng and the others as he roared. Get lost! Rumble! Lei Qi roared. His late-stage core formation realm strength completely erupted. The Dharma treasure in his hand, the lightning staff, was thrown forward. Bolts of lightning streaked across the sky, as if lightning tribulation had descended. Chapter 90, Breaking the Shackles and Obtaining Great Providence. Lei Qi was unleashing his might. Lightning spells were thrown out in succession. He was powerful and crackled. Ah! A miserable cry sounded. Phew! Bai Meng was sent flying and spat out blood. His right hand was charred as if it had been directly carbonized by Lei Qi's lightning. How can he be so strong? Bai Meng was shocked. Bai Meng was only at the early stage core formation realm, and he was also at the third grade false core realm. Lei Qi was at the late stage core formation realm and was also at the 5th grade true core realm. The difference between the two sides was quite obvious. Bai Meng was completely not his match. Attack! Stop them! 2 Foundation establishment disciples also rushed out and blocked the many members of the moon-praying cult. A chaotic battle erupted, and rumbling sounds continuously sounded. Damn it! Shi Zhaoyuan forcefully supported himself. With a wave of his right hand, the Thousand Sails Blood Demon banner appeared in his hand again. He used his dharmic powers to attack Lei Qi. Shi Zhaoyuan! Yuan Feng shouted and looked straight at Shi Zhaoyuan. Her gaze was firm and sharp, as if a sharp sword had pierced through Shi Zhaoyuan's heart. It made him gasp and his hand slow down. You've already lost. As soon as she finished speaking, he saw Yuan Feng wave her right hand and take out a black bow. Under Shi Zhaoyuan's gaze, Yuan Feng drew the bow and aimed it at the straw doll. Swish! The black arrow tore through the air. Stop! Shi Zhaoyuan roared. Unfortunately, it was already too late. Phew! The arrow tore through the air. Under everyone's gaze, the black arrow pierced straight through the straw doll with the true name Shi Zhaoyuan written on it, and it pierced through the entire straw doll, causing blood to spray from the wound. The straw doll was like a living thing. It was truly strange. Ah! Phew! At the same time, Shi Zhaoyuan let out an extremely miserable cry. His heart had also been pierced by an invisible arrow, and sticky blood spurted out. He was directly injured. Moreover, at this moment, Shi Zhaoyuan's 3 souls and 7 spirits began to dissipate. It was already impossible to save him. Cult Master! Cult Master! The disciples of the moon-praying cult shouted in unison. The battle is over. Qi Ming looked at the scene and took a sip of the 100-flower spirit wine. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, indicating that Qi Ming's mood was not bad. The taste of the spirit wine blossomed in his mouth, and the aftertaste was endless. Yuan Feng won. Yu. Shi Zhaoyuan opened his mouth, and blood kept flowing out. He could not stop it at all, and his vitality was quickly dissipating. What technique is this? Nailhead 7 arrows. Yuan Feng looked at Shi Zhaoyuan and replied, My uncle master taught me this. It's your honor to die under this technique. Who is your uncle master? Shi Zhaoyuan asked. Heaven Enlightenment Sect's Green Cloud Peak Legacy Disciple, Qi Ming. Yuan Feng's tone was filled with arrogance. Cough cough. Qi Ming could not help but cough a few times when he heard that. Another legacy disciple. Pu. Shi Zhaoyuan's eyes widened. After his anger overwhelmed him, he spat out a mouthful of blood and fell backward. He could not get up anymore. He was dead. His 3 souls and 7 spirits dissipated. The essence soul and nascent soul dissipated. The boundless dharmic powers in his body scattered into the world. Ha 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 ha. When Lei Qi saw Shi Zhaoyuan fall, he was first stunned. Then, an incomparably ecstatic expression appeared on his face, and his tone was filled with excitement. Moon-praying demon cult master, great demon Shi Zhaoyuan is dead. All of you, quickly surrender. Attack. Rumble. Lei Qi erupted with full force, magical force surging, producing countless streaks of lightning, unstoppable. In the entire battlefield, he was already unmatched, no one his opponent. Bai Meng was also beaten to death by him. Dead. The disciple looked at the fallen Shi Zhaoyuan. His mood was filled with excitement and disbelief. That's a nascent soul great demon. Is he really dead? Gasp. The other disciple gasped, and he looked at Yuan Feng with reverence as well as the altar and the nail had 7 arrows on it. Unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Yuan Feng was only at the early stage foundation establishment realm, but she forcefully used the nail had 7 arrows to curse a nascent soul great demon to death in 7 days. Something like this. It was a complete miracle. It's indeed ruined. Yuan Feng did not participate in the battle. She looked at the two broken parts of the black arrow and the tattered straw doll and sighed, I can only use it once. However, Yuan Feng had an excited expression. It was just that she did not show it all this time. Uncle Master, oh Uncle Master, you're really too strong. That's a nascent soul realm demon. He hid himself for 300 years and returned. He was actually cursed to death by an early-stage Foundation establishment cultivator like me. Everything that happened in the past 7 days was simply like a dream. This is unbelievable. Honestly, Yuan Feng felt that it was unreal. However, this was the truth. This was also the terrifying power of the heavenly constellation 36 techniques. This was the true great divine power. The night passed, the next day, in the morning. Lei Qi and the others were bathed in blood. They killed for an entire night and killed all the members of the moon-praying cult in the heavenly origin mountain range, leaving behind thousands of corpses. Blood gathered. It formed a blood lake in the surroundings. Corpses littered the ground. The demon beasts in the mountain range were also frightened and did not dare to move. All of them hid. Demon beasts also had intelligence and knew to seek luck and avoid danger. We'll kill all the disciples. Lei Qi was filled with killing intent. These evildoers deserve to die. The disciple said. That's right. The other disciple nodded. Let's return to Heaven Origin City first. Yuan Feng said. Okay. Lei Qi nodded, I'll listen to you. After what had happened yesterday, Lei Qi did not dare to treat Yuan Feng as an inner sect disciple. At the same time, Lei Qi was very respectful towards Qi Ming, who he had never met. Although Yuan Feng's performance was not bad, it could even be said to be outstanding. However, the one who could really kill Shi Zhao Yuan was the nail-head 7 arrows that Qi Ming had given to Yuan Feng. It was easy to imagine. Just a Dharma artifact refined could make an early-stage Foundation establishment intersect disciple silently curse an early-stage nascent soul realm demon from extremely far away. Such methods and such abilities were mysterious and unfathomable. He was unfathomable. That legacy disciple key methods had definitely reached an unimaginable level. As expected of a legacy disciple. Lei Qi sighed, Yuan Feng only received some protection from legacy disciple Qi, but she already has such great fortune and such powerful methods. How enviable! If there's a chance, I'll definitely return to the Heaven Enlightenment sect and personally visit that legacy disciple Qi. I wonder if he'll see me. Next, they split the loot. The moon-praying demon cult was destroyed by Yuan Feng and the others, and the entire demon cult's resources belonged to Yuan Feng and the others. Yuan Feng cursed to kill Shi Zhao Yuan and obtain the top credit, so Yuan Feng took the most out of the gains. Basically, Shi Zhao Yuan's resources were all in Yuan Feng's hands. Lei Qi naturally took his share. The remaining 2 disciples would share the rest equally. No matter what, Qi Ming protected Yuan Feng behind the scenes. She also had an inner sect elder as her master. Coupled with the strange methods of the nail-head 7 arrows, Lei Qi and the others did not dare to forcefully take what belonged to Yuan Feng. They did not want to get into trouble. In the morning, in Heaven Origin City, Yuan Feng and the others had returned. What they saw was a scene of desolation and corpses strewn across the ground. From the surrounding scene and the purgatory-like scene, they could imagine what the citizens of Heaven Origin City had experienced in the past few days. It was too miserable. Beasts! These beasts! The disciples shouted. They really all deserve to die. The other disciple said. Lei Qi took a deep breath and sighed, although to cultivators like us, there's no need to care too much about the lives of mortals. After all, a mortal's life is less than 100 years. As for us cultivators, during the Qi refinement realm, every advancement of a small realm increases your lifespan by 10 years. When you reach the early stage Foundation establishment realm, your lifespan will be 300 years. After reaching the core formation realm, your lifespan will be more than 1,000 years, much less a mighty figure above the nascent soul realm. A mortal's life is like the blink of an eye. But, among the living, we cultivators have also cultivated step by step from mortals. Even when many immortals were born, they were only mortals. The actions of the moon-praying demon cult are unforgivable. They should be destroyed. That's right. Yuan Feng nodded solemnly. Noon. Lei Qi and the others were busy dealing with the remaining survivors in the city, rebuilding Heaven Origin City, and establishing a new order to gather the citizens. Taking this opportunity, because Yuan Feng had obtained most of Shi Ziyuan's inheritance, she knew about the Hornless Dragon Life Transformation Array, but she did not tell Lei Qi. One had to be wary of others. Therefore, she headed to the City Lord Manor of Heaven Origin City alone and found the Hornless Dragon Life Transformation Array in the underground space of the City Lord Manor. Although more than half of the Hornless Dragon essence had been absorbed by Shi Zhaoyuan, the most fundamental thing had not been absorbed. This Hornless Dragon essence was very useful to Yuan Feng. That's it. Yuan Feng's beautiful eyes shone, and her breathing was a little hurried. She looked at the black crescent moon in front of it, like a dragon. It was lifelike, like a true living creature. There was no hesitation. Yuan Feng jumped up and stood above the Dao platform. She sat cross-legged again. She circulated her cultivation technique and slowly absorbed the Hornless Dragon essence. Gradually, Yuan Feng was surrounded by a black fog. Vaguely, a dragon was circling behind her. The Hornless Dragon essence, the Blue Ice Spirit body, and the Ice Lotus Dao foundation were fusing. She was undergoing a transformation. Congratulations, Yuan Feng. Qi Ming looked at this scene and smiled. From today onwards, you can be considered to have broken the shackles of your original fate and obtained great providence to reconstruct yourself. Of course, being able to obtain all of this is the result of your own choice and your own hard work. I only gave you this opportunity. Whether you can capture it or not is up to you.